Hey, it's Luna, and I'm back with another inconsistent intro. This time I'm going to be talking about our little almond that we all know so well. There will be spoilers ahead, so if you want to avoid those, I'll put the time on screen for that. Now that that's out the way, let's get into it. Arm is one of the two protagonists of Fire Emblem Echoes. Most people know Echoes is a remake of Gaiden, but if you're fairly new to the series, then you probably don't know that. I'll be honest, I didn't know that either. We first see Arm right at the beginning of the game with Celica while they're both in a field of flowers. It's a cute moment, but it doesn't last long. Slade and his merry group of soldiers happen to attack Ram Village, and it's there where they see Celica and recognize her as someone who they've been looking for, the princess who refuses to die. They're hoping to take Celica, however, Arm's grandfather, Myson, is quick to stop Slade and his group. It's after that where there's a whole thing where Celica has to leave and Arm doesn't know why. She does leave him with a bit of a memento. Years pass and Arm meets Lucas, a member of the Deliverance, who seeks Myson in order to join them. When Arm can't find Myson, he goes, "Oh hey, I'm gonna join this place. This is probably a bad idea, but oh well." And in the whole thing, he drags his friends along with him. It's there where you get to see Arm's recklessness in his first battle. He jumps into battle immediately, and all you can do is feel sorry for Lucas, as he's essentially reduced to, well, a babysitter. A couple battles go by, a few new members later, and they reach Zofia Castle, where they meet Myson. And Arm is seen as a hero by the people for having freed them of the mess that they were in. He then gets to see Celica, and we get one of the cutest reunions, which quickly goes sour. Arm and Celica disagree with the current situation across Valentia. Celica thinks that they need to see what's going on with Miller and find a peaceful way to go about things. Arm, on the other hand, thinks it's necessary to go into battle against Rigel and fight against Emperor Rudolph. It turns into a bit of a heated argument, and it's there where they choose to go their separate ways. And because of plot, a rock slide prevents Celica from returning to Zofia Castle once she happens to leave. Arm, on the other hand, proceeds with his task and goes on to attack Desai's fortress, rescuing Matilda, aka every teen boy's dream. In the fortress, they find a chest containing the royal sword, a blade that can only be wielded by royalty. When Tobin tries to pick it up, it doesn't work. Arm, on the other hand, picks it up with ease, thinking Tobin is just messing around. Even Lucas is surprised, but Arm dismisses the whole thing as a myth. After fighting Tatara, the sluice gate is then opened, leading Arm to believe that it was Celica who did it. It makes him wonder, is Celica actually the missing princess of Zofia? And then, Act 4. It's my favourite act. Everything about that point onwards was just, it really brought everything together. The first thing was the music. A Song for Bygone Days is one of my favourites from the soundtrack. It truly reflects the situation and how things were a lot more serious. Arm went from being a reckless village boy who just wanted to know what it was like outside of Ram Village, to being the leader of the Deliverance. The entire thing is riding on him and his success. Every single decision he makes will affect not only him, but the rest of the Deliverance as well. As the chapter begins, Berkut and Fernand attack Arm and his army. This battle wasn't really too hard when I went to it. Apparently this battle was meant to be a bit difficult, but since I gave Matilda Rider's Bane, she dealt with the entire thing. Not really too hard. As a last resort, Berkut shatters a mirror that Nui Baba gave him, landing a curse on the Deliverance. However, Celica is able to intervene and dispels the curse, saving the army. On the way to Rigel, the army hears of a witch kidnapping Rigelian women to sacrifice them to her god for the sake of everlasting beauty. And for anyone who's seen Nui Baba, it worked. Arm has to choose to try save the women or ignore the whole situation and press forward to Rigel Castle. If you choose not to, then you get to face Zeke's army alongside Jerome's army. If you save the women, however, you get to Tanya. She's your only chance of turning Zeke to Arm's side. It makes the battle so much easier since you have an entire army to back you up, and also Zeke is kinda strong. I gave him Duma's Lance, which worked really well. From there we get a bit of a special cutscene. Zeke sees the mark on Arm's hand. The knight explains to Arm that Rudolph told him to follow a man who has that special mark. It would be a sign that Miller and Duma's influences over Valentia would soon come to an end. The army finally makes it to Rigel Castle, and we get to experience what I think is one of the most difficult battles in the game. The army fights against Rudolph himself, and interestingly enough, Rudolph doesn't engage with Arm. After a fierce battle, Arm is able to strike down Rudolph. While clinging onto life, the Emperor reveals what we've been wanting to know the entire time. Something that was hinted for so long. It's revealed that Arm is actually Rudolph's son. His true name is Albine Arm Rudolph. The boy begs to know more, but Rudolph chooses to explain his final request instead. He begs Arm to go into Duma Temple and claim Falchion. With that blade, he is to end the gods. The Emperor takes his final breath, leaving Arm to deal with the fact that he just killed his own father. With Rudolph dead, Arm is then recognized as the leader of Rigel, much to Berkut's displeasure. Myson appears to explain what happened. He finds out why it was done. Rudolph saw that the gods were beginning to descend into madness. It was around that time that he had a son who bore a brand, one said to mark a key person that would help end the madness of the gods of Valentia. To ensure it would happen, and that Arm wouldn't be captured by Duma, he was sent away with Myson to safety, so that he could be shaped into the hero that was foretold. Arm comes to fully understand everything. He takes on his role as the hero of Valentia, and with that, he heads to Duma Temple in an attempt to reclaim Falchion. Going further into the temple, after so long we finally get to see Celica. However, she's been imprisoned by Jeddah, who plans to sacrifice her to Duma. Even though Arm was told to slay Duma, Celica tries to tell him not to, fearing Rigel will fall further into ruin, as it's been reduced to a barren landscape as it is. Falchion was sealed by Miller herself, so what other way is there to slay Duma? Even after all this, Arm wants to take down Duma and save Celica. This scene was heartbreaking to watch. I felt so sorry, because they're just torn between what to do, with utter uncertainty as to will things actually work out. Going deep into the temple, they find Berkut, but he's a bit different. After finding out about Arm being Rudolph's son, after finding out he won't be Emperor of Rigel, he was finally driven to madness. He killed his fiancée to Duma, and took on the power it gave him. It's truly heartbreaking to go up against Berkut in this state. You're just kind of left to feel bad for Arm, having to go against another family member, and the only one who he has left. This battle, it was really difficult. I struggle with this more than the final boss. Hell, I lost half my units on this, mainly because Renea kept warping them over to Berkut, and he just one-shotted them. When Berkut is slain, he's lifted from his state of madness. Arm, on the other hand, is left to deal with the fact that he just killed another one of his own family members. And it's just there where it gets worse. The army goes deeper into the catacombs and finds two doors. One won't open, while the other only allows Arm to enter. The next bit was just a bit of free experience, going up against some terrors with the royal sword. Arm has a really good crit rate, and he's really good at avoiding. He also has access to the convoys, so there's the food. This bit, it wasn't really all too hard. Once he gets to the end, one of the most well-known cutscenes begins to play. Duma has taken Celica's soul, and she's become a witch. Immediately, she attacks Arm while begging him to kill her. She's scared of hurting him, but she has no control over her body. Arm, however, is reluctant. He can't bring himself to kill his childhood friend. and because of his reluctance, she knocks the royal sword right out of his hand. Miller calls out to Arm to take up falchion and use that to defeat Celica, which he does. He runs the sword right through his childhood friend and just watches as she falls limp in his arms. With the power she has left, Miller uses it to bring back Celica, giving the pair one final message. She asks them to stop Duma and free the mad god from his suffering. They go on to use the turn wheels to unlock the previously locked door and reunite with Celica's party. The two armies join forces and go ahead in the final battle. I will say it right here, Twilight of the Gods is one of the best final boss themes, right next to Julius's theme. You can fight me on that, but I will stand by it. Just to top it off, Arm's animation when he finishes off Duma. When I went through the game for the first time, it took me by surprise. I didn't expect it. But I love the animation. Just that is how you end a boss fight. A final boss like that. With peace having been restored to Valentia, Rigel and Zofia unite with Arm and Celica ruling over the land. It's a happy end to what I consider one of the best Fire Emblem games and the best remake. Echoes is a bit of a special game to me. I got the special edition for my birthday and spent hours playing through it. I bought it to school to play in my free time. I stayed up on the weekend just to play it. I played Echoes after having played Awakening and Fates, and neither of the lords from those games really grew on me. Arm, however, I really loved his character. I loved him as a whole. Maybe because he interacted with the army and his surroundings with funny little bits of dialogue. Maybe it was the fact that it was all just fully voiced. I hope Three Houses has that level of interaction with the army. Also, please make sure they don't all have tragic haircuts. Lorenz, I'm looking at you. Arm is a bit of a special unit in Heroes. He has an amazing Refine, which is basically a brave sword as long as he has full HP. Combine that with Mystic Boost and he's stupidly strong. He's arguably one of the best falchion users. I happen to have an Arm and he's +1. I don't use him though, like, at all. I'm saying this because it explains his build, which I think is a sight to behold. There was a huge gap from when I did use him. The last I used him was for the Picnic Tempest, and that's about it. I didn't use him much because, Flora and her busted weapon. She is the worst Tempest boss to date. I didn't really want to use Arm because she just kept killing everyone, and since I run it on auto battle, it was hell. I'll build up Arm one day, but today's not that day. I can't remember when I did summon Arm. It was sometime in year 1. I think it was on his original banner. Looking at Heroes, it says I got him between Clarice's Grand Hero Battle and Choose Your Legends 1. I can't remember what happened between then, so I'm guessing, yeah, that's probably about when it happened. I think I got his merge on the Falchion banner. That sounds about right. It was either him or Lucina that I got there. I really don't remember. Legendary Arm, on the other hand, I do not have. I couldn't summon for him since I'm saving for Summer Inez, as I want to get him to +10. He only needs 3 more merges. Please give me those 3 merges. I need to somehow get another 200 orbs for him because I did screw up and spend around 150 orbs for Marita. I was originally at 520 orbs. I did the story and got some from there. Then I dropped 400 when I spent. And now I'm back at 500. I'm worried about genealogy arts for the summer banner. I'm absolutely terrified. Please don't do this to me if I have a very small amount of orbs, because my heart won't be able to take it. Maybe I'll get Legendary Arm one day. He does seem really fun to use, and he's really busted. So ends another tangent about a really good lord. This is really late. and I'm thinking of not bothering with trying to get out a video per week because it's way too much work. Especially since I've been working on side projects, and well, this took a while because I was actually working on commissions. If you would happen to like to commission me, I'll put the information down in the description. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.